Over the weekend, Republican Congressman Jim Jordan had a bit of a mini meltdown on Fox News during an appearance with Maria Bartiromo, where Jordan just kind of went off the rails and started ranting and raving about the liberals, the Democrats, allegedly controlling every single facet of life here in the United States, whether it's Hollywood, major corporations, obviously Washington, D.C. Democrats control everything and they have all of the power in this country, and poor little Republicans are the victims. So take a look at Jim Jordan in this little mini rant that he had about how liberals just control everything. Here he is. Take a look.
But I think in a general sense, Maria, we need to understand that the left controls the left controls big media, the left controls big tech, they now control big corporations, big sports, they control Hollywood, they control higher education, the left controls the White House, they control the Congress, and most importantly, they control the bureaucracy. So we've got to get a handle on this. I hope there's an investigation where we can find out who in fact leaked this private information about American citizens.
I forgot to add big sports, because, you know, big sports is a thing. Forget for a moment that a lot of these team owners, whether it's the NBA, NFL, they all tend to lean very hard to the right. If they make any decisions like, you know, pulling the All-Star game out of the state of Georgia over the oppressive voting laws, it's due to public pressure. And possibly because some of them might actually have a conscience. I don't know that that's the case, but yeah. Democrats don't control big sports. Democrats don't control big corporations. Democrats don't control big tech. And even though they have majorities in Washington, D.C., trust me, Democrats do not control Congress either. They really don't control any of those things that Jim Jordan was whining about. Hollywood, maybe. We'll give him Hollywood. A lot of people in Hollywood are very left-leaning, but so are a lot of people in the state of California anyway, so I don't know that that's even a fair description of Democrats controlling Hollywood. But either way, Jim Jordan's just so mad that liberals control everything. So what was it that sparked this crazed tirade from Jim Jordan? Well, it's the fact that last week, ProPublica published documents, tax documents, showing that the wealthiest Americans paid little to no taxes for roughly a decade. That's what Maria Bartiromo was whining about. That's what Jim Jordan was whining about, because they think, and this is the conspiracy that they're all now pushing, they think that because liberals now control the IRS, which isn't the case, they're going to start leaking tax information of wealthy individuals to somehow spark this class war that, by the way, if you've been paying attention, has already been happening. And let me tell you, the poors are losing. The wealthy have been engaged in a class war here in the United States for decades, and they have won it. Handily won it. And that's all this story was proving. And sure, it may give Elizabeth Warren a little more, fuel to push her legislation to increase audits on the wealthy, and it should do that. But just because this tax information was leaked doesn't mean that the IRS is suddenly flooded with liberals trying to take over and launch a class war against the wealthy. I wish that were the case, though. I'm going to be honest. If I had it my way, that's what would happen. And we would tax these people appropriately. We would audit them at the same rate that we audit poor people here in the United States, and they would have to finally pay their fair share. That's all we're asking, is for them to pay their fair share. The rest of us don't have the means to hide money, to find all these loopholes. Hell, most of us can't even afford to hire an accountant, let alone hide billions of dollars from the federal government. Most of it legally, by the way. Nobody's even accusing these individuals of breaking the law here. All we're saying is that it's wrong. But Jim Jordan, nope. That just gives him more fodder to show that liberals control every part of his life. And dang it, he ain't happy about it. One of today's video sponsors is Blinkist, a wonderful service that allows you to consume some of the top nonfiction books around in just 15 minutes. And right now, Blinkist has a phenomenal offer for our Ring of Fire viewers. Go to Blinkist.com/ROF to get a 7-day free trial, as well as 25% off a premium Blinkist membership. What Blinkist does is they take, again, some of the top nonfiction books around, thousands of books in 27 different categories, and they boil them down to the main points that you can consume, either reading them or through audiobook, in just 15 minutes. Now, this is one of the best ways to get caught up on the news of the day. Maybe you want to get into philosophy or psychology, nutrition and wellness, whatever it is, Blinkist has it for you in easy-to-consume bites. And if books aren't your thing, they also have podcasts, which they call shortcasts, and you can consume those as well in 15 minutes. You can listen to them while you're doing laundry, while you're working out, or on your commute. Get the top podcast and nonfiction books of the day directly to you. And again, they have thousands of titles, including some of the top books around. Fire and Fury, Short History of Brexit, The Soul of America. If you can think of it, I promise you, Blinkist has it in their category. And again, go to Blinkist.com. That is Blinkist.com/ROF for a 7-day free trial and 25% off a premium Blinkist membership.